Hello, and thank you for joining us. We're Fancy Bear, a team of computer science and computer engineering majors at the University of South Carolina. Today we're excited to present our senior capstone project to you. Our team is composed of David Etta, Sid Gahani, Christian Lee, Mark Spurkin, and Travis Schuler. We look forward to sharing our innovative app with you and demonstrating what we've been working on this past year. We hope that you are excited about our app as we are. We would like to give a special shout out and thanks to our professor, Jose Vidal, for giving critical feedback in a past year. Thank you.
Our app Fancy Bear is committed to empowering investors by offering real-time insights into stocks that are available for trading. We believe that stocks represent an actual tangible way for individuals to invest in their future. A lot of people are really tempted to do short-term desires, and we recognize that successful investing requires a really disciplined mindset and a strategic approach. And our goal is to support and encourage that mentality, ensuring that even novice investors won't get discouraged and can still understand some of the complexities of the stock market. Today, many trading platforms overwhelm users with an abundance of information, making it really difficult to navigate. Fancy Bear is trying to address that problem by providing a user-friendly experience that allows anyone to track their stocks with confidence without feeling intimidated by larger financial institutions. We aim to simplify the trading process, create a welcome environment for all investors, regardless of any experience level.
For example, imagine an average college graduate named Joe. His father suggests he invests in energy stocks, saying there's a lot of potential in the industry. Joe follows his advice and sets up an account, but soon realizes he's overwhelmed by the complex financial terms and market data. Without proper guidance, he's lost in the world of investing. Let's see what his experience would be on a large financial institution's platform. Okay, let's take a look at TD Ameritrade's website. From the get-go, you can see that there's a lot competing for your attention. There's a notification that my account is transitioning to another company. Below that is a button to create an account with them, but underneath it is another button to create an account within TD Ameritrade, which is very confusing. My balance has another button next to it to add funds, which is a little too close for comfort. Below my personal balance chart are 3 additional charts representing 3 different market indicators, and each of them are very similar and feels very redundant. A calendar appears with a grid of dates, and each one has a different color and a seemingly random number below it. Next to it is a chart with different stock symbols and then confusing terms like estimate or actual without any additional information. There's also a toolbar at the bottom that stays on your screen with a bunch of different options that are very confusing for someone with relatively little experience.
In the creation of our app Fancy Bear, we used a lot of cutting-edge technologies. One of the main ones being Django, a very, very powerful web framework that allowed us to create and scale a great web app. Python is the main language that drives Django web apps, and it's such a great backend language because it is so easy to read, and because we are hosting this application on the cloud, computational power was not a problem. HTML and CSS is what we use to make a lot of our web pages. JavaScript allowed us to make those web pages really reactive. We were allowed to refresh with real-time data every so often that the user wanted to do that. And on top of that, we allowed the user to switch between various graphs displaying stock data. And we deployed this application on the cloud using Heroku, a very, very reliable and easy cloud system to use. When we first had the idea for Fancy Bear, we wanted to make it a mobile application because a lot of stock applications are on your phone right now, and we were going to choose Android development. But utilizing Android Studio and Kotlin, we found out that this wasn't really as feasible without having a lot more experience because the interface for Android Studio is not that user-friendly. Sometimes when you're just building the app and opening Android Studio, the build would just fail and you have to force a whole app restart. Sometimes the Gradle plugins wouldn't load, and a lot of other issues would happen. It was really, really hard to access the API information that we needed for our application, And on top of that, we weren't really able to build actual great user-friendly screens for our end consumer because of the weird layout design that you have to use on Android Studio.
We chose the Django Web Framework over Kotlin due to it being more scalable, the group having more knowledge with Python, as well as increasing our knowledge in web development, cloud services, and Python development as well.
Meet Eng. Eng is a young car enthusiast from southern United States. Has a burning passion for things automotive. From plastic muscle cars to sleek modern designs, Eng's love of automobiles knows no bounds. Fresh out of college with a degree in computer engineering, Eng dreams of combining his love of cars with his entrepreneurial spirit. He envisions launching his own automotive tech startup, revolutionizing the industry with cutting-edge innovations. However, Eng's dream hits a roadblock when he realizes the funding his startup requires a deep understanding of investment and financial management. As a car enthusiast with little experience in the world of finance, Eng feels overwhelmed by the complexities of stock trading. Determined to overcome this obstacle, Eng embarks on a quest to find a user-friendly stock trading platform that aligns with his passion for cars. His search leads him to FancyBear, a stock trader app known for its simplicity and accessibility. In our web app, we emphasize on a few things. We emphasize on user-friendly, being able to reach anything in one click. So we have here, let's say, about us. One click away, we can contact each of the developers. We can go to contact us. If you leave here a name, an email, and a feedback, you will go straight to your inbox and you get a response from it. And we will see the response too and look at your feedback. Same as well as for the blog.
So Ang here has been playing around with our platform for a little bit, and he's been able to build himself a portfolio by making a lot of trades, buying and selling different stocks. This is our portfolio page, and it has an extensive breakdown of the various stocks that someone owns and to what capacity. So we have the stock tickers, and then we know the current price, which is how much one share of the stock costs. We have the number of shares that the user currently owns. We have the average cost over the times that the user has engaged with that stock by buying and selling. And we also have the current market value, which is the current price of the stock in the market times the number of shares in the stock. We also have the return and the ROI percentage. Now they both say 0 because at the time at which the stocks were bought, they had the current price was the price when the stock was bought. So they both say 0. Maybe if we hit the refresh button, which I'll get to in a sec, in a day or two, then we'll be able to see some changes. Now this refresh button gives us the opportunity to get the most up-to-date version of the market price, and that affects a lot of things. It affects the market value because that's the price times the number of shares. It also affects the return because if the market value changes, then the return is also going to change, and it also affects the balance because whether you make or lose money in the market over time is going to be determined by the price of the shares that you own. And that's what the return button does. Now you have the opportunity to click on any of these stocks, and it takes you back to the stock details page where you have more information about the stock, current information about the stock. And if you scroll down, you also have a very condensed version of trade history, which shows how the user has been interacting with the stock over time. You have the opportunity as well to trade the stock again, whether you want to sell, if you still have any, or you want to buy some more of the stock. And if you want a more exclusive version of the trade history, you can actually click on our trade history page like Ang did here, and you see all the trades that you've made since you started using the app.
So as you can see, this is our deposit or withdrawal page. On the right is our buying power, which is the amount of money that is freed up to buy more stocks. This is our amount that we want to use, and then so for example, $14,000 is greater than $13,000. So if you try and withdraw it, you can't, and it tells you why. So instead, we're gonna deposit. After depositing and submitting, you can see that our buying power increased, and if you go to our portfolio, you can see that our balance has also increased.
So Hank recently heard that Lucid Car is releasing a new electric car, so he wants to check out Lucid stocks. So what he can do, he can go here, type in Lucid, search for it, find the relevant stock and click on it. Here you can see there's a lot of information about how much the stock cost, and we have a change percentage from the day before. If we scroll down, we can see a nice detailed chart of all the prices from all the dates with current dates and dead times. We can change it to a weekly perspective or a monthly perspective as well. If we hover above the line, we can see the exact price and the date for that point, each point. Let's say Ang loves the stocks, he wants to add this to his favorite, let's say. So we go back, we click the heart button, and that's what it does, it adds this stock to his favorites. So go to his favorites and we can see Lucid is added to his favorites.
Thank you for watching this final demo video for our Fancy Bear stock app. We hope you enjoyed and maybe you try out the app sometime.